deep and profound. To journey means to travel from one place to another. This show is about deep and heartfelt discussions about where we are, where we're headed, and where we've been. It's a place where we highlight memorable moments we've had. This show is about everything and everyone that is good for the soul. Welcome to another episode of Soulful Journey. It's been a week. I do want you to take a deep breath with me because of it, and let's just do that together. My name is Venus Jones, and I'm the host of this episode, and I just want you to take a deep breath with me because we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about rules today. We're going to talk about when to break them, when to make them. We're going to talk about double standards a little bit and what's really good for the soul. And we know breath is good, so let's do that. So if you haven't taken a good deep breath today, will you take one with me right now? All right, so let's go. One more. Yes, we like to take a deep breath and take at least 1 minute at the beginning of this show to relax with that breath. Feel yourself breathing in and feel yourself breathing out without trying to control your pattern of breathing. You can relax your shoulders and your jaw and whatever is going through your mind right now, you can let it slip away. And just for this one moment, we can come back to harmony. You are safe. You are accepted. You are forgiven. And you are loved. So thank you so much for being here and in conversation with me. It's been a week. It's a lot has gone on this week. We are living La Vida Loca, that's still. We're still living La Vida Loca. I had some fun with my friend. Shout out to Jocelyn. We were celebrating Independence Day on the 4th, and because I believe that we are all connected, and what you do has a ripple effect. And I just want to remind you of that. And I want to also talk about. I want to talk about some of the things that have been in the news this week and that have got me thinking about taking care of my spirit because there is some... Can I light a candle or an incense or something and burn this for y'all a little bit? I need to smell. This is one way we take care of our spirit, is listening, surrounding ourselves with good smellies. So yeah, that's real. And I just want to talk to you too about just rules. I'm a rule breaker. Could you imagine? Did you know that already? Most free spirits are. I must admit, I do not like rules. I don't really like rules because I don't like boxes. I don't like labels. But I know that that's the world that I live in. A lot of people, that's how they make sense of the world, is with rules. But I want to talk about today, when is the best time to make a rule and when is the best time to break a rule. There's a couple of things that happened this week that had me thinking about rules. And one, it was the release of Bill Cosby on a technicality from prison. And the other was the suspension of Sha'Carri Richardson. And that's because she was an Olympic hopeful, and she also was had to deal with rules So sometimes rules work to some people to their advantage, and sometimes they work to your disadvantage. So I was really brave this week, and I was thinking about laws and rules, and I created this just like a dialogue. Me, I like to think like as a writer, I like to think about things in dialogue form. So I had this thing where it says, just imagine if Black America was on one accord and in unison for everything that we want. And I thought that it would say, Black America, like this, if this was dialogue, it says, Black America, stop these bills against CRT and sign the bill we asked for, the one honoring George Floyd, which is HR 7120, right? And what if America said, did you say you wanted a bill? Q, release Bill Cosby. So then I put hashtag divide and conquer, because what I'm thinking about is bills are laws, right? And they are rules. And sometimes we want rules, but when do we want them? We want to make a rule. So here, this is what I was thinking of this week. I say, we want to make a rule when players are cheating. Let's pretend like it's a game, like you're playing poker, right? Players are cheating and someone gets hurt. That's usually when a rule is created or even a law, right? Because you're trying to prevent someone from getting hurt. Someone created a law or a rule that said that you can't run through a stop sign, right? And so most people obey that law or that rule. And then there's those who don't. And just because they get away with it doesn't mean that the law doesn't or the rule doesn't still exist, but it happens. So when do people break a rule? And I was thinking when players are cheating and you don't care about the consequences, you break the rule. But it's also sometimes you break a rule or law when you want to make a statement about a game or about freedom, or when you're maybe just not thinking. And today's the first time I've actually heard Sha'Carri's voice. I was listening to it, and she sings like a sweet soul, right? I was listening to her. She's been nothing but apologetic and just also very hopeful of that her time is not over. And I love that. And one of the most beautiful things I saw this week was her LSU alumni in solidarity doing something that was good for her soul. And they were like, they created this video that was in solidarity with her and reminding her that they too are human and they too have made mistakes, just to lift her up. So let's stop there. Sometimes for those people who are behind bars, no matter what country you're in, it can feel like you're no longer human and that your chance at making mistakes is over. And I think that's something that is something to just pause and think about for a moment here. Because in her statement, she said, don't judge me because I'm human. All right. I have had people say to me that they don't make mistakes, or I got in an argument with somebody once. And I said, what about, it was about, again, let's go back to traffic. I was talking to him about going through, I was like, what, for example, I said, so you mean to tell me you've never made a mistake on the road? Maybe not even intentional, but maybe you cut someone off. He was like, I never cut anybody off. And I laughed because I felt like, how do you know? How do you know that you've never ever made a mistake? Sometimes that's when you know you're talking to somebody who might be like a narcissist or someone who feels like they never ever do anything wrong. And sometimes I feel like when I talk about when there's a phrase that says, don't hate the player, hate the game. And when you are thinking about creating new rules, you have to take in mind of who you're playing with. Are you playing with someone who thinks that they don't do anything wrong? And if you are, then you have to think about the game. Is the game something you want to play still? And that will lead you to a really a new sense of freedom, because a lot of the times, once a society is set up, there are certain things that you come into the world playing and you don't even know you're in the game, right? But you're in it because the laws and the rules were already set up. Now, if you want to create your own laws and rules, then a lot of times someone would say, what do? You would have to start all over. You would have to create your own society or your own way of thinking. But when you are caught up in a system or a game that was not your creation, sometimes you are already at, always, you're at a disadvantage. So you would have to say, okay, I'm in this poker game with somebody who created rules to their benefit, most likely, unless they're playing fair. But a lot of the times we know it's not a fair game. And that is my thing. I just really want people to ask the question, no matter who you're dealing with in life, are they playing fair? And do they question themselves? And if they don't, then you know what you have to do. Then you have to go back to number one, which is making a new rule. Because rules are also like boundaries. And as we grow, we all want to make sure that we are doing what? Staying safe. So, hey, young world, how do you stay safe when you are in a game that you can't control? It's best to know the consequences, and it's best to know the rules of the game. You can't just be out here all willy-nilly like, hey, let's get lit, because there's people who are like, oh, I see. They don't know the game. They don't know the game. Well, the good news is that some people, like I said, will cheat on purpose to test freedom. Just like a child will go to a parent and they will say, and they will talk back. They'll push the boundary. They'll do everything they can to just see how far they can go. That can be to their advantage sometimes, because sometimes no one's looking or someone's going to be lenient. But when you get in front of that judge or that parent who's not lenient, now it's like, what? But everybody else was cheating. They don't care. And if I'm just, speaking to my younger self or to somebody who is watching me right now, and you're thinking, well, I don't get it though. It's not fair because I'm sure all these other athletes were smoking and all these, so they should just let her be. Well, like she said, she's not human. She is human and she made a mistake. So she owns up to it. And I love that, because in my self-determination poem, I say my first line is, I take 100% responsibility for my life. Even though believe it or not, that's a controversial affirmation, to say that I'm going to take 100% responsibility for my life. But that's what Sha'Carri did. She didn't blame anybody else. She blamed herself and said, I'm taking 100% responsibility and I'm still going to win. Loved it. Now, here's the thing though, when you say I'm going to take 100% responsibility for your life, that doesn't necessarily mean, young girl, that you are going to win all the time. There's going to be times that you don't win. There's going to be times where you're looking at all of this and saying, okay, I'm going to take responsibility, but I also still know that the game is rigged. But I'm still going to do my very best. And I'm still going to make sure that I am in it to win it regardless. And that there might be some kind of way where, like the tortoise and the hare gonna get so swift with it that they get careless and they're not paying attention. And then next, what you win the race, because they think you are a joke. So it doesn't matter how they see you. It's how you see yourself. It's how you see yourself. And that's how you truly, truly win. Because sometimes they think you slow and they think you just don't know the rules of the game. And they're trying to trip you up. So you have to be very, very careful of knowing the rules of engagement, no matter what it is. It could be the rules at your job, those unspoken rules. It could be the rules, in a relationship, and at the offset. It could be the rules on the track team. It could be old, outdated rules. And we're here in a murky area where some people are not wearing masks, for example, because some people saying the pandemic is over, and other folks are saying, wait, I can't tell. And I'm going to keep wearing my mask. Why? Because I'm trying to stay safe. They're not going to catch me in the crosshair. Get it? Crosshair. Right? Because that's what the tortoise did. Crossed the hair and won the race. But sometimes you may not. You may not win. And now you are caught up. You're caught up. Yes, I really loved how she handled it. I did too, Urel. So thank you for weighing in on that, because I was like, I watched it for the first time today. I was like, wow, yeah, she really was. So because I wanted to weigh in, which I don't know. Again, another reason why this what do you call it? I had to sit up a little bit, because another reason why these two things were these two double standards were hitting me this week is because first of all, oh man, there's so much going on. And I normally don't like to talk about all this, but I'm trying to take care of my soul, and I wanted you to know what was on my heart and soul this week. And it's these topics of how do I keep people safe who I love? How do I keep them from not getting caught up in these booby traps that happen to so many people? And no one's really talking about it that much until it happens to you or somebody you know. But also another reason is because I want y'all to see, look, I used to be a track star, right? I used to run for McKinley. You see these little pictures? This is a little picture of me. This is me with somebody holding a baton. I used to be on a relay team. And this is the article that I was in. They have my name in it. It says McKinley track talent runs deep. We broke records at Garfield, right? So I was feeling that this is a picture. Oh yeah, can you believe people used to not have pictures digital? They were like in these little photo albums. But I love this picture right here, because this one right here speaks again to the kind of family that you can form when you are on track. This was actually going away when somebody was graduating, and we were like, wow, because you can form such a family, such a connection. And that's what I've loved about being in sports, is that you can learn the importance of teamwork. And when you let somebody down who's on your team, you drop the baton, right? Or you maybe you're not running at your best. It affects the whole group. And that's what I also loved about the young twin. She's only 21, Sha'Carri. And she said, I know that I'm not just, it's not just about me, that I'm representing an entire, a beautiful people, a people who deserve so much, right? So she knows where she's coming from. She knows that she's representing more than herself. And that's how I want us all to see, is that we're all on the same team, and that's team humanity. But everybody don't even get it. They dropping batons all over the place. They showing up to the track meet late. They're not even paying attention. right? Eating anything they want to eat, not caring about where we're trying to get to, which is survival and not human extinction. Right. So I'm like serious about this. So like when I wrote that poem, I run, it means so much, but you got to know who you're running for. You got to know that the race is not given to the swift all the time. You got to know that you got to put in some work. And you got to know what you're running up against. All right. Well, I'm done. I'm done talking, but these laws and these rules, some of them are meant to be broken. And I'm kind of glad what happened to Sha'Carri happened, because it can open up the gates and it can open up the conversation about the rules that are being broken right now with the people who are in jail for marijuana laws. So when Biden is saying, okay, the rules are rules. Well, what about the rule that he's breaking right now? Because he's not coming to the clemency. When are we letting these people out of jail while other people in Colorado and California making a whole bunch of money off of marijuana? How come these people haven't gotten let out of jail yet? Rules are rules. So that was problematic, saying rules are rules, when, again, these are the laws that are creating a double standard, and people are either being treated like humans or they're not. So I love when she said, I am human. Don't judge me. Now, every human can be foolish and can make mistakes over and over again. Where it becomes you can use that excuse. But she already says it's not going to happen again. That's taken 100%. How many of you are willing to do that, though? How are you willing to say, when you look at a lesson in your life and say, I'm ready to say that this, I'm done. It's not going to happen again. So I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm pro marijuana or against it. That's not the point. I don't smoke, just so you know, but the point is, that's not the point. The point is, we have to be like that LSU group. When you see somebody making a mistake for the first time, and say, no, that's your first time. Yes, you are human. I got your back. And I loved it. But I can't even find a video. It's almost like it disappeared. And I don't know why, but I wanted to show it to you. But yeah. Here's to hopefully, getting some fair rules and laws, so we can continue to test freedom and remember who the game is serving. And hopefully the game will be serving more of us and not less of us. And that means everybody, because too many people are getting hurt because of cheaters. There's people cheating in the game. But we want a game that serves everybody. Yeah, and I agree. CRT is in critical race theory can be dangerous to some people. Why? Because they want you to tell both sides of the story. But did you want us to tell both sides of the story when you was winning? So I'm just saying we have to tell both sides of the story. Yes, I totally agree with that. But we have to tell the truth. And the truth will always set you free, right? Hey, let me shake the maraca on that. It may hurt, but the truth also heals. And words can hurt and heal. And I just want to see us all on the same team. So I'm going to end with a poem, a popular poem. So you can see me back. Imagine me back when I was like 18, 17, running. Yes, running for God of my understanding, my Savior, and running for you, especially, the misrepresented, mistreated, marginalized. So I'll end with this. I was born to run. The first time I kicked in the womb, my race had begun and I'm running. A temperature that will leave a blazing trail beneath my feet. And even if the rivers in my eyes turn cold, I have a promise to keep. I was told to run. So I don't walk. I run. I don't crawl. I run. I've come too far from where I started from. It's time for me to run. The rays of the sun direct me to the harbor where I find energy for each one. Who suffers from the heat, exhaust, from all of the pain in the purse, in the pocket, in the hearse, and the lock and the key. And sometimes I do trip over the hurdle. And the hurdle was me. And when you chant and cheer, I focus on the lighthearted, the beautiful, and the divine, and I smile. Because I can see you standing by. I can see you coaching and counting the seconds in the palm of your hand. And as your thumb goes up and down, you will continue to stand and I will run across country. And you will track my steps. I will lean into the wind and pace myself. Because it's a long stretch. And I'm thirsty for my last 100 meters. And I will drink the air that I breathe and listen for your desire with my eyes closed. I'll tighten the grip on this steel baton and dream of igniting your torch. I said I daydream of being the fire that rockets you to the moon. I will give you freedom in your left hand. And you will pass it on to the next man or the next woman who can. See the gates of heaven open. Hear the voice loud and clear. Well done. I need you to help me. I need you to help me. I need you to help me maintain the pathway. For every lost daughter, for every lost son, pick up this message. Please deliver this message and run, run, run. All right, you keep running for your dreams. Keep running after them. And don't let anybody stop you. And don't get caught up. Don't get caught up. Not knowing the rules of engagement. Yes? All right. That's definitely for Sha'Carri and all of you who are on my team, that relay team for justice. Yes, I see you, Yolanda. Thank you for tuning in. If this episode moved you, make sure you share it with a friend, give it a like. And remember to subscribe and hit that YouTube button. My name is Venus Jones, and this has been a great time spending with you. And my first time just really sharing commentary on some things that were deep and sitting heavy on my soul. Remember to light some incense if you need to. Take a bubble bath. And make sure you have a good conversation with somebody who's on your team. All right. Remember to keep looking up and to keep looking out. If you do, there'll be a lot less fear and a lot less doubt.